Hey everyone, Wolverine, Return of Wolverine, number 4. And guys, it's getting a little bit crazy, a little bit weird. But before we get too far, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content I'm putting out here on this channel. Last issue, you had Wolverine, who has lost his memory, who is being manipulated by Persephone, and this other individual, Anna, we're not quite sure of. Last issue, we saw him square off against Kitty Pryde, Jean Grey, Iceman, Storm, and Nightcrawler. And while Nightcrawler didn't fare so well, Iceman actually had the upper hand for a moment, up until the point where Wolverine fired up the claws, broke through the ice, and then cut Iceman in half. Bobby Drake just sitting there beside himself. Da-da-da-da-da-da. This issue starts after the fight. Wolverine, he's in bed, and one thing that happens is when he uses his claws, it basically redirects the energy from his healing factor. So when he is using the claws, he doesn't heal as fast. Figure that's worth mentioning so people aren't just like, man, Wolverine's spending a lot of time in bed these days. But anyway, Anna's there, she wakes him up, and he's confused as to why he's strapped in bed. She explains that the docs were kind of afraid that he would wake up and go wild again. He's like, go wild? What are you talking about, right? Well, and she's confused because he doesn't remember, and he just remembers fighting the X-Men. He doesn't call him that. He just calls him the teleporter, the redhead, on and on. And while he's going through the list, he remembers Ice. And Anna doesn't miss a beat here. She says, yeah, you defeated them. You ran them off. They ran from you. And she takes him over to the window and shows all the destruction and everything that happened. And Anna explains that most of this was caused by the Weather Witch, or Storm, after Bobby Drake, Iceman, was cut in two, and she was basically trying to keep him alive, it looked like. Well, Wolverine thinks that's all fine and dandy, but he wants to get back to work because he still hasn't saved Anna's son. Well, he's here. And from this point forward, the story starts to get weirdo freaky. Anna basically jumps all over Wolverine, puts one on him. He's like, hey, your son's right here. He looks over and is like, it's okay, you deserve it. Yeah, make out with my mom, that's normal. And then Anna suddenly gets into this crazy storytelling mode where I promised you 3 stories, and so she's going to tell him this next one. And this next one is weird. Anna begins her story by saying, every day the people in this city wake up. They go to work, they go home, they go to sleep, and when they can, in tiny slivers of moments snatched from what they must do, they consider what they might do. They dream, and then they wake up. All those people, all over the planet, wasting time, effort, hope, on dreams. The vast majority will never achieve them. They will never be great or even vaguely notable. They struggle forward, believing the indignities they suffer while serving their time in the grand machinery of humanity's rise are somehow worth it. Their dreams, the carrot in front of the donkey. Hope, an opiate. In truth, in all their lives, most people do nothing more than fulfill their roles in mankind's engine. They're gears, wires, lines of computer code. They're not really alive at all. Not like you. They're born dead, and then one day they die. Isn't it sad? More than that, doesn't it seem inefficient? And at this point, Logan realizes she's nuts because he looks back over her shoulder and is like, Anna, are you okay? And she's like, you don't understand. This is why you came back. That whole story is about you. And then this psycho turns around and blasts a hole right in her son that they were chasing earlier. Well, then Anna starts explaining that, oh, it's cool, it's not even my son. And that's not the weird part. The weird part's dude starts getting up. Little zombie kid gets up and is sitting there look at him, he's all freaky looking, man. It's okay to shoot zombies, and this qualifies as a zombie at this point. And of course you have the stunning big reveal here that her name's not really Anna. And right when she says it, dude busts in the room and shoots a spike through Logan like you wouldn't believe. This thing shoots right through his chest, pins him to the wall, and then it spiders out across his chest, secures down his arms, and it looks like something from Omega Red, so I'm assuming it's adamantium and he's not going to be able to get through it. At this point, it's revealed that Anna is actually Persephone. Well, is Persephone, but not Persephone. Persephone is controlling Anna because that's what her mutant ability is she can control and manipulate the dead. And she goes into explaining her ability, how this whole town, this whole city, everyone is controlled by her. And she can do zombies, she can do monsters, and that's easy. But it's the details are harder. It's when you can actually program somebody to the point where you could fool their actual mother. That takes concentration. She explains that how when she grew up, death was all around her. And that's how, in her mind, the powers of the cosmos balanced everything else, because it balanced out because it gave her everything back. And she explained that death's the only friend she's ever had. Also, in typical bad guy fashion, she explains that this is a test, that the reason that this is beautiful, that it's because the dead, they do what they're told. Wolverine comes back real quick because of course they listen. They're dead. You brought them back. They're abominations. And it starts running through Logan's head. He's like, who were the people that attacked the city? Really? Persephone, or I guess Anna, Persephone, I don't know, looks over her shoulder and says, they call themselves the X-Men. They're a pompous group on the whole, but honestly, some of the best friends you have in the world. Well, maybe not anymore. And you get the shot of Iceman getting cut right in half from Berserker Rage Logan. And it goes into the actual fight, and it shows how Logan, just Wolverine, was able to take out this whole team of X-Men just by, when he got hold of Iceman, cut him in half, and it caused Storm to have to divert her energies to keeping Iceman alive. And while she was able to go after Logan some, Jean Grey gets distracted in the scuffle, ends up getting hit with a rocket, and finally Kitty Pryde just has to say, look, X-Men, the whole place is turning against them, retreat. But even after they're gone, they still have something else to deal with, and the people of the town, and that's they have to deal with Wolverine in Berserker mode. And they just bum rush him and go until he runs out of steam. From there, Persephone drops the facade. She drops some of the Anna, the kid, everybody except for one of her enforcers, and he pulls Wolverine down. Of course, Wolverine looks at him and says, hey man, you could drop dead too, bub. And he pulls Wolverine down, and he's taking him out to show him whatever it is Persephone wants to show him. And what she ends up going to show him is a space shuttle. And that's the end of Return of Wolverine number 4. And it looks like we're going to get the adventures of Wolverine in space. So as far as my review of Return of Wolverine number 4, gosh darn it, Marvel, I really wanted you to do this right. Now, storyline wise, I'm okay. It's been really slow, very, very agonizingly slow. Episode 2, they seriously were on a boat the whole time and basically knocked out 2 dudes, and that was it. And I'm hoping it's about to take off. I'm giving Charles Soule the benefit of the doubt that we are about to get some excitement and some action, and it's about to go nuts. Even the fight with the X-Men, the way it rolled out is kind of like, yeah, it happened, and we get it spread over 2 issues and mostly flashbacks. My biggest gripe with this series so far, though, has got to be the art, though. The art has not been good. It has been very Sunday morning cartoon newspaper, or newspaper cartoonish. It's not been good. It's not been consistent, and I'm very disappointed. Marvel, you're rolling Wolverine out again. Wolverine, dude's kind of a big deal. He's been a big deal in the Marvel Universe for a long time. and you knew it was going to sell. You knew it was going to make some money, and you couldn't put a decent artist on this thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not been good. Anyways, I intentionally put the creepy kid up there to stare at you because I figured nobody would be listening at this point anyways. But if you are listening at this point and you enjoyed, make sure you're subscribed and please leave a like. Everything you do, from commenting to leaving a like to sharing it, it all helps the channel. And ultimately, that's what I'm trying to do right now, is really grow this thing. So guys, I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you, and y'all have a good one. Real Comic Stacks out.